Hey everybody, welcome to our first video about TinkerCad. Hopefully at this point you have joined our class. And what we're going to do for our class at this point in time anyways is we're going to talk about circuits, and we're going to start working with the Arduino, which is something that we will need for our autonomous vehicle competition. So to start with the Arduino, and we'll get to do this in physical, real, actual life at some point in time, but to start with the Arduino, here's what we need to do. So in our TinkerCAD, there's a couple of different spots where you can go. The thing that we want is circuits. So this is going to allow us to use our TinkerCAD circuits to practice our Arduino wiring and programming all in one in a virtual environment. So we're going to go ahead and create a new circuit with our green button here. And hopefully this does not lag too badly on your computer, but we'll hope for the best. So here's what we're going to do. We need an Arduino Uno R3, which we're just going to click and drag out onto the screen. We need this thing called a breadboard, which is for prototyping. We will click and drag that out to the screen as well. We will go to the very top and we will take an LED bulb. And it doesn't necessarily matter where you put it. I would recommend putting it from, there's this little channel divider in breadboards. I would put it not in the first but the second hole up, just so, because that's how we're going to wire it up. And then you need this thing called a resistor. So basically the deal is if you put a resistor in, or if you put power to an LED bulb and you don't put resistor on it, it is going to blow the thing out. It's crazy. So what I did here is on your resistor, click this to ohms, just right there, and just make it 330, and you don't have to really worry about the name. I don't think this will actually affect our simulation. This is more for in-person, but it doesn't matter at the moment, I suppose, anyways. So what we're going to do is to complete this circuit, we need two things. First, GND is ground. We're going to click ground, and we're going to actually go, we'll just go up to this corner here. That's fine. And we're going to make this wire black. We're going to try, in most cases, to make the black wire the ground wire. And in this case is no different. So our black is our ground. And this rail right here, if you see, I click, and see how you highlight all those things in green? When you put your ground or your negative power to this, then it's going to electrify this whole row right here. So as we now have our resistor that goes from this terminal here, that is connected up and down. You can see all these are connected to each other. To our cathode, we connect our cathode to the resistor to the minus to complete the negative portion of our circuit. Now what we're going to do for our positive, because for every bulb or for really everything that we do, there has to be a negative and a positive portion of the circuit to complete the circuit. So we're going to take, we'll say pin 12, and if you click on it says D12 when you hover, and go to the anode, which is right here, then you're going to make that one red for two reasons. One, red is for positive. Two, it's a red bulb, so we may as well go for that. And that's our circuit. So this very first circuit here is going to allow us to send power to that bulb and make the thing go on and off. So in our Arduino environment, now we need the code. And we don't want block code. We want text code. And what we want here is it gives us a little bit of a default program. And this is great because this is going to help us a whole lot. And it's going to help us understand kind of the different parts of the Arduino program and the things we have to do to actually turn this bulb on and off. So first off, we have to set up a pin to have a pin mode. So output is sending a signal to the bulb. Input would be receiving from. And that doesn't make sense because you don't get a signal from a light bulb, you send a signal to it. Therefore, we set it up as output. We've connected that to pin 12, so we don't want 13 here. We want it to be pin number 12. And then when we digital write, to turn the bulb on, we write it to high. And then to turn it off, we turn it to low. So let's turn our 13s into 12s down here. And then delay, what it is when computer programs run, they run so fast that you can't even see it happening. So essentially, in a lot of cases with these bulbs, if they're on, you're just turning the bulb on so quickly that it's actually going off and on so quickly you just can't tell that it is. So in this case, we have to write in this delay so we can make it go on for 1 second and then off for 1 second so we can see it. Now, when you start the simulation up at the top, if you've done it right, you'll actually see the bulb blink on and off in this case. And we can do a couple of things to kind of show how that works now. So what we can do is our delay of 100 or 1000 we can turn into 500. So our delay is in milliseconds. So there's 1,000 milliseconds in 1 second. So if we turn it into 500, our code is going to start our bulb is going to start flashing faster. We could indeed go down maybe like to 100. This is more effective in real life, but it should do the same effects where it flashes on and off really quickly like that. In the reverse, we could, forgot to stop the simulation. We could make that 2,000 and make it go on for longer. I think probably for me 250 is probably good because it'll be a relatively quick flash, but not ridiculously. That works for me. So that's your very first Arduino circuit. And let's recap just to make sure that we have everything the right way. So we have our Arduino is supplying power because we'll probably have it plugged into a computer. That's where the power is coming from. So we're taking the ground portion of our circuit and attaching it to the minus rail on our breadboard. So remember the breadboard here. Let me see if I can get this stuff out of the way. Our minus thing on the top is connected all the way across the board, as you can see by that black line above that. And as you can see there, all of our minus rails connected. We're connecting minus to our bulb through this resistor that is connected to the cathode. We are connecting our positive power from pin 12 to our anode on our light bulb. And that way we're supplying both positive and negative power to the bulb when we do digital write to high. So let me let you take one more look at the code here, make sure that this works. And this is a really simple introduction to how this works. It's probably a little bit weird as of yet because this is indeed our very first attempt at an Arduino circuit. But there's a lot of things that we can do with this, and there's a lot of things that we'll need to do, ranging from controlling motors to GPS to controlling camera and getting feedback from a camera to using sensors to sense distance. There's a lot of things that we are going to do with this. We're going to connect multiple Arduinos together to communicate between each other. So this is our very first step in hopefully trying to understand how this is going to work. So once you have this written, there should be a way to submit this to me, which I will share with you. What we can do is we can click the share, and what you can do is just download a snapshot. That would be fine. Or if there's a better way in our classroom setup, I'll share that with you tomorrow. But that's it for now. Good luck, and I will see you all later.